From the very beginning of the Benedict's mission to the Xenomorph homeworld, Colonel Stevens had protested Hicks's involvement, believing him to be unstable and unreliable, while in reality he posed a major threat to his conspiracy with Massey. Stevens went so far as to formally complain to Dr. Arona, expressing his concerns about the shell-shocked Marine. "He's been bucking for a psych discharge ever since he came back from Acheron," Stevens said. "Command thinks Hicks is a big, tough monster killer. Crew killer is more like it. It's not like Acheron was a success. The only survivors were a kid, a civilian named Ripley, and Hicks. The kid's a brain case, and Ripley, well, you know what became of her. I don't need his kind of experience." Dr. Arona was, of course, dismissive of Stevens' protests, but it didn't prevent the colonel from hindering any detail of the mission where Hicks attempted his own input. Being second in command, Hicks had to answer to Stevens. For example, knowing the threat they were about to face, Hicks ordered plasma rifles for the team and had them added to the ship's inventory, only to have Stevens overrule this decision after a heated debate. "Blasters are notoriously unstable and grossly destructive. We're collecting specimens, not pieces," was Stevens' rationale, though he certainly didn't want such advanced firepower to get in the way of Massey's operation when the time was right. Hicks had no choice but to follow Stevens' command. What Stevens did not know was while he was preoccupied with removing plasma rifles from the inventory, Hicks was moving bomb components past him, disguised as spare parts. After the skirmish, Hicks had informed his fellow survivors of these circumstances. "I can put a ring of fire down there that'll trigger 1,000 volcanoes. Between them and the nukes, they'll scour the place like a sandblaster. Sterilize the whole fucking planet." With Stevens and Massey now dead, though the mission had come to grief and many combat androids had been slaughtered, Hicks's true agenda, to nuke the site from orbit, was now free to pursue. But there was still the matter of their new friends, these mysterious alien creatures with advanced weaponry of their own, who had seemingly saved the group from an oncoming horde of Xenomorphs attacking the APC. What exactly did they want? Newt seemed to have an idea. She screamed, and Hicks was there, holding her by the shoulders, shaking her gently. Hey, it's all right, we're okay." The memories bubbled in her, and she fought them. But there was a pressure in her brain, a kind of malevolent presence. "It's that thing out there," she said. "I can read its thoughts. More like its feelings. It's inside my head." Hicks glanced at Blake. "I'm not crazy," Newt said. "It just killed all the aliens outside our ship, right? Because it hates them. Its kind have been here before, collecting specimens." She shook her head, as if that would clear the intrusion by the stranger. "It somehow can feel my thoughts, too," she said. "It knows." "Knows what?" On Acheron. My parents. What about them?" "Oh God, Hicks, my parents found the ship there. An alien ship. The pilot was some kind of scientist, maybe. It had been to this world. It had taken specimens of these things. Eggs. It must have been infected, implanted. They killed it. The ship crashed on Acheron. The things survived inside it. I don't know for how long. My parents found it. They went into the ship." Newt sobbed. Tears flowed. That was one of the memories she had buried the deepest. Not even the worst of her nightmares had dredged it up before now. Hate filled her brain, but it was not her own emotion. It was from the space traveler floating outside the APC, the giant whose fellow being had died and crashed into Acheron. She didn't want to remember, but the space traveler pulled at it, drawing it into view, watching her father lean over one of the eggs, seeing all over again the opening in the crab-like embryo that flew out and latched onto her father's face, seeing her mother and listening to the screams. "No! Get out of me! Go away!" Hate. Gut-churning, black, molten hate, sloshing over and filling Newt to her toes. How this thing hated these creatures. "It saved us," Hicks said. Not because it likes us, she said. Because it can't stand them. Blake said, Sarge, we've got to get the ship spaceworthy. We've got what, 3 hours? Newt thought about the bombs that would drop. What would happen to the planet when they did? She felt a sudden interest from the spacesuited figure. It understood her thoughts well enough to hear that message. The thing is leaving, the crewman said, just floating away. It knows about the bombs, Newt said. Yeah, well, while I'd like to be an ambassador to a new species and all, we have to get to the APC and have it fixed, or we're going to be atomic dust ourselves. Hicks stood, leaving Newt sitting on the deck of the little craft. Next to her, Mitch opened his eyes. He didn't speak, and Newt had nothing she wanted to say to him. The alien presence left her suddenly. It brought on a sharp sensation, as if a knife were pulled from her brain. It was hard to breathe. Their eyes burned and their noses ached and dripped, but the repairs took only an hour. The APC lifted, made orbit, and managed a safe rendezvous with the Benedict. Hicks made very certain there were no unwanted passengers on the APC before he pulled into the bay, and even then he had the cleaning lasers scorch every bit of the landing craft's exterior before he let them leave the docking area. Newt sat at a table, staring at the wall. It was all over. They had come to the aliens' world. They had survived pirates and attacks by the creatures. They were about to smash the planet back to a pre-life stage. They were going home. It was all over. And she didn't give a damn. In this series, I'm recounting the Earth War, as depicted in the Aliens comic series, and the events leading up to it, as well as its aftermath. The events are explored as originally published, despite certain names, locations, and other events having been altered over time. For more on the Earth War, you can check out the Accounts of the Earth War playlist on the end screen and on the channel, and stay tuned for the latest videos in the series. As always, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, and you can also subscribe for all the latest videos from the channel. A very special thanks goes out to WEYLAND Yutani Executive, EmYarUk, part of the Patreon Hive. I'd also like to thank our Hive's queens, Lady Anne and Kimathi Thomas. If you'd like to join the Hive and support the channel, check out my Patreon page for exclusive posts and contests. In the meantime, you can catch up with Alien Theory over social media. You can follow @alien_theory on Twitter and @alientheoryyt on Facebook and Instagram for more. And until next time, this is Alien Theory, signing off.